Welcome back to part 2 of our series where we are building an Excel user form that will export different objects from our Excel application into a different Office application. So either being Word or PowerPoint. Very simple. It's not going to do anything super fancy. Just simply copy and paste that object in the specified application. In our last video, we kind of got everything, I would say, as set up. So we designed our user form. We actually physically, set the colors, set the controls, everything like that, fonts. We've named everything at this point. So each control has a name that we can reference inside the code. So a lot of the visual tasks we're taking care of, and a lot of the tasks that are going to be needed for just making coding the object easier have all been done. And then we displayed our user form using our second module, which is called show user form. In this video, what I want to do is I want to, when we enable this particular form, that these drop downs will each be populated with all the things they need to be populated with. So that's kind of the goal at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our VBA editor and we're going to declare a couple more objects. And so we're going to create drop down objects. This will be an object variable. It will be an MS Forms, so Microsoft Forms, combo box control. And then we're going to do a drop down application. And you guessed it, it will also be a combo box. And then secondly, we're just going to do a generic control, because in case we ever want to loop through something or anything like that, we can use this particular object to do that. And so this one is a Microsoft Forms control object, very broad. Sometimes you might not know what the particular control name is. You might need to loop through it or something along that nature. If you don't know the type, you don't want to declare it as a very specific type. You want to declare it as a more broad type. So that's basically why I do that. And just in case I have to do anything where I have to loop through all the controls or anything along that nature, I would kind of do it as a more broad object. Okay, and then from here, define the objects related to Excel objects. So this is kind of our second category. The first one will be called Excel chart, and this, as you guessed, will be a chart object. The second one will be an Excel table, and this will be a list object. So from here, everything's good. I don't want to necessarily show it just yet, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab the different controls I need to populate. So in this case, I'm going to grab the object combo box, and then this one will be set drop down objects equal to the export user form. There is a controls collection. You call the item method, and then you do the object combo box. This is the same name I defined right here. So I'm going to have two: application combo box, object combo box. So that grabs the first one. And I just realized that, of course, I misspelled it. So I'm going to fix that. And then I'm going to grab the application combo box. And then this one will set the drop down application object variable equal to the export user form. Again, we'll go into our controls collection. We'll grab the item using the item method, and we will pass through the name of the control we want to grab. And in this case, it is called application combo box. Hopefully we'll do this. Okay, no errors, so that's always a good sign. Sometimes I like to check just to be safe. From here, let's populate the object combo box. So what we're going to do is we're going to add chart names to Dropdown. A couple different ways you can do this. In this situation, I'm just going to loop through each Excel chart. I'm going to go into this workbook, so the one that contains the code. I'm going to go to the worksheets collection. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab sheet 1. And then I'm going to do chart objects. Now, this is very, very, very specific. Notice how I'm only looping through sheet 1. This would not work if I had multiple sheets, in the sense of if you wanted all the objects inside the entire workbook to be populated in that dropdown, this particular method would not work. You would have to just basically say loop through each worksheet, then loop through that worksheet's collection of chart objects. So this has been written a very specific way. I'm not saying you can't do it the other way, but don't think the code I'm about to show you will work for an entire workbook. It will not. Now, from here, what I can do is I can take my drop-down objects and I can call the add item method. And then there is one called pvarg item. I hope that's right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Excel chart dot name, and then I'm going to concatenate on at sheet 1. Now, what you could technically do is you could also define the sheet name. Now, I want to do this kind of the appropriate way, so we'll call it Excel sheet as a worksheet object. Again, very specific. Technically, this would not work within chart sheets. And I'm going to declare another variable called Excel sheet name. This would be a string. And so I'm going to say, first, I need to define the sheet. And I'm going to say set Excel sheet equal to this workbook dot sheets, and not sheets, dot worksheets, and then sheet 1. And then what I can do is I can say, hey, set Excel sheet name equal to Excel sheet, and then grab the name property. Technically, what this also allows me to do is I can copy this, and I can really just work with this one. A little bit more simplified. But again, it would only loop through sheet 1. So just keep that in mind. It's very important you understand that. And then what I can do from here is I can delete that sheet 1, and then I can just pass through my Excel sheet name. So that's basically, at this point, would populate that object, with all, well, at least at this point, the combo box would have at least all the charts. Now, we need to do the list objects as well, because I want to be able to export list objects. So from here, I would say Excel table and Excel sheet. In this case, I want the list objects collection. I would still use the drop-down objects because, it's still going to the same one, but I would change a couple things. I would say Excel table. I want to make sure it's the name still. I still want to make sure there's that @ symbol, and I still want to make sure it's the sheet name. I'll explain why we need this kind of later down the road. So that should take care of the drop down for at least the objects. Okay, and then from here, let's see what we get. So you can see chart 1, table 1. So we've now populated that drop down. No errors, that's always a good sign. Means at least we did something right. Okay, so from here, we have our application combo box. What we're going to do from here is we're going to populate that one. So I'm going to take, ooh, I misspelled again. Darn. And I'm going to add the application names to the application combo box. And so I'm going, I'm going to take my drop-down application object, the one I defined up above. Again, I'm going to call the add item method, and I'm going to do pv_arg item. And then in this case, I can just pass through a string. I want it to be PowerPoint. And then I'm going to copy this guy just one more time. And then I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to put Word. So we'll either be able to export to Word or to PowerPoint. So let's take one final look. Table 1, chart 1, look good. PowerPoint, Word, everything looks good. So at this point, we're doing pretty good for, we've got our form built. We've got the drop downs populated the way we want them to be populated. I think we'll do one more thing, which is I want to add some interactivity to one of the buttons. And so what that will do is if we click cancel, it will basically hide the user form and unload it. So an easy way to access a button's kind of event is either A, you can type it out, or if you just double click, it will actually do that for you. And for right now, I don't want it to be option explicit. So technically you could just go here and you can say view code and it will bring you right here. And then you could write the subroutine yourself if you wanted to. But right now it's kind of all very specifically specified. So you specify the button and you specify the event and then what you want to have happen on that particular event. So what the first thing was to do is we're going to hide the user form and to give time to unload it. Technically, when they click the X button, this will also unload it. But again, just to kind of show you a different way of doing it, first thing you do is you specify the me keyword. So me is just simply referencing to the me as the export form. So specifying the export form, call the hide method. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it for a few seconds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the do events. And then we're going to say for r equals 1 to 10,000. Next. And then I'm just going to put here, this is a placeholder. It's not doing anything. This is just another way to pause your application if you need to. And then we're going to unload the Excel form. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call the unload, and then you specify the object that you want to unload. In this case, I want to unload the Excel export form. So you might be asking, why did I even do this to begin with? Again, part of it was to add some functionality that you might not necessarily know how to apply. And then, of course, in doing that, I realized that sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. And to make it work consistently, this is what I had to do. Why? You tell me. I'm not sure. Like I said, it was very fickle. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. So I researched the solution, and this seemed to make it consistent. Basically, when you unload the Excel form, or just a form in general, what it does is it kind of resets all the values. So that's really important where, for example, a dropdown's already populated, and say they were to bring up that form again, you don't want to necessarily have a bunch of the same values already populated on there again. So that's kind of why you do it. So let's see what this will do. So if I click this, that's all it does. So it's just a way to, again, cancel the user form. Same way, I could go right up here and do that. So pretty simple. At this point, that's long enough. At this point, we're going to cut off the video. So if you have any questions about populating dropdowns, just grabbing certain things for maybe your particular application, feel free to put them down in the comments below, and always I'll try to get back to you. Also, if you could, please make sure to like the video. We always appreciate support. And if you're not already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way you stay on top of all the fun releases that we have going on related to VBA, Python, and soon to be SQL. So cool stuff coming up. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.